everybody and welcome to Hann-Made Studio. I'm Cheryl Hann-Woodlock. Today I'm going to be talking to you guys about your tiles for mosaics. Can you use them outside? How do you know if you can use them outside? Stay tuned. I'm going to show you how. You want to use your tiles for outside mosaics, but you know if you don't have the right tiles, they are going to fail, they are going to break and fall off after a time. I'm going to show you what to look for and how to find out if your tiles are going to be okay. In front of me, I have two Johnson tiles. One is an old Johnson tile that was made here in Australia. This is the new Johnson tile. It's made in Malaysia. What is the difference? When we have a look at them, you can see one is whiter than the other. That's not the difference. The difference is the clay. This is an earthenware clay. This is a porcelain clay. Earthenware clay absorbs water. A porcelain clay does not absorb water. It's impervious to water. There is a simple test that you can do, and I'll show you. When you stick your tongue on your tile, it actually sticks. So my tongue, the clay on the back of here, was actually gripping my tongue. When I do it on the porcelain, it doesn't absorb the water from my tongue. So it wasn't gripping my tongue. That is a very quick difference that you can tell. Why is this important? Earthenware clay versus porcelain clay. An earthenware clay absorbs water, which means that if you don't use a waterproof adhesive and you put it outside, it will absorb water and it will eventually break down. A porcelain tile does not absorb water, which means it will not fail. It will still be good in 100 years from now, 200 years from now, and like the Chinese, 1,000 years from now. Does this mean that you can no longer use the earthenware tile that is porous? Yes, you can. The earthenware tile can be used for outside conditions as long as you make sure that the adhesive that you are using is waterproof. A waterproof adhesive is a cement-based adhesive or a thin set. And a thin set is the American term for a cement-based adhesive. Those cement-based adhesives are impervious to water. They are designed to go outside. So for your bird baths, they are ideal. You can still use these tiles on your cement-based adhesive for a bird bath as long as the cement base covers the entire backing of your tile. When you cut these tiles, the sides are then exposed to the water, to the elements. We sort that out by putting in grout. Now, grout is still porous to water unless you add a solution that will make it impervious to water, and that is a sealant. There are many sealants on the market, and you can actually seal it afterwards. So you can use this tile, which has a porous backing and is earthenware, and it can still be used for your mosaics. The disadvantages of using a porcelain tile is that they are a lot harder to break. I don't like using these so much because it's a lot more work on my hands, and I have to have really good tile nippers. So these are the tile nippers that I use to cut these tiles. I also use glass nippers. So the glass nippers work really well on the porcelain. And the reason the glass works on porcelain is basically a glass. It is vitrified, so it actually has a glacious finish. The porous tile is really easy to cut. The beginners love using it because they can use cheap tile nippers or tile nippers that are blunt and still get a nice easy cut. For older people who don't have a lot of strength, or even for young children who haven't got a lot of strength in their wrists, the earthenware tiles are fantastic for doing mosaics. As I said, these porcelain tiles are a lot harder, but you can use both for outside. So we've worked out we can use an earthenware tile for our outside mosaics, as long as the glaze is okay. How do you check? I'm going to show you a simple test of how to check that your earthenware tile can still be used for outside. What I'm going to do is I've got a permanent marker. And with my permanent marker, I'm going to rub this texture over the tile. I'm then going to get a damp tissue and wipe it back. When you look at this, there is no crazing. I am looking for little crazing marks on the tile, and that's where the ink will show up. This tile will show crazing. Now, to clean this, I'm actually going to have to use a little bit of method. Inside that tile, you can see these little crack marks like veins. That is where the glaze has cracked. This is an earthenware tile. It's very old. It's been, as you can see, it's been left out in the rain. Water has seeped in, and with time, it's caused the crazing on this tile, those little crack marks. So you can see all the ink now has gone into those cracks. Those cracks with time will allow water to seep in the mosaic. The adhesive will eventually fail and it will pop off. This is what you need to check. A simple test, and that way, with your permanent marker and your tissue, you can find out if your tile is okay for outside. So what do we need to look for? One is we need to check to make sure that our adhesive is correct for an outside mosaic. So if your tile is an earthenware tile, which means it's porous, you need to use a concrete adhesive or a thin set. You need to use a grout that has been sealed so no water can get in from the top. The thin set or the concrete adhesive will make sure no water comes in from underneath. The other thing we need to make sure is that the top of the tile is not going to craze. So we've checked that with our marker. It didn't craze. It's perfect for outside. This one I wouldn't put outside because it has the crazing. There you go, a very simple test to see if you can use your tiles for outside. They can still be porous, they can be earthenware, you can use them. A tile that crazes, don't use it. Okay, I'm Cheryl Hann-Woodlock from Hann-Made Studio. Say thanks for watching. Bye. Hi everybody. If you liked what we did today, please hit the like button. Remember to subscribe and ring that bell. I'm Cheryl Hann-Woodlock from Hann-Made Studio, and this is Alfred saying goodbye.